Hello everybody, thanks for coming to my DIY channel. Basically here what I'm doing is a flush complete super coolant, okay, for the system, the whole entire system. Okay, so let me walk through why I'm doing this. My Honda Odyssey 2007, basically there was very bad on the heat. One side was hot and one side was cold. Okay, warm air on one side basically. And the reason why I'm doing this, just to let you know that most of you will probably think it's a blend door actuator, which is correct in terms of one of the ways you can go and diagnose this. But my blend door actuator is just right underneath here, right? Let me show you. Right there underneath where the white bracket is, okay? It's actually moving, okay, when the car is on and the heat. So I actually moved the heat up and down on these nozzle right there, right? So basically when it's moving, that means it's working, okay? The blend door actuator is working in some sense, okay? But I still took it off and clean it up and put it back in. The reason, another thing is, sometime when you get this issue with hot and warm air, okay, first of all you should be checking for your coolant if it's low, okay? So if it's low, you can just tap it up right where these two parts is right here. This is the coolant cap radiator, and that's the reservoir for it. Check and see if it's low. If it's low, you fill it up, and maybe that solves the trick if you have weak heat, right? But in my scenario, another thing is my heater core, I'm assuming that the blend door actuator is working. The next issue is when you have a heat that is weak. Another scenario is because your blend door actuator, I mean your heater core could be clogged there. So what I did, let me show you, follow through the steps, okay? You see the two hoses, one hose there and one hole in the bottom, okay? The inlet and the outlet. For my 2007 Honda Odyssey, the outlet is on the top hole. The bottom one is the smaller one. It's a smaller tube, okay? So that you have to keep in mind. This tube right here is a 5/8. It goes on the top. The other one is a smaller one. It should be a 3/8 in there, okay? Actually, it could be a 1/2 inch actually, to be honest with you. So it's a smaller hole. Basically, and in order to know which one is the outlet, for my top one is the outlet, which is this hole's right here, okay? That is the outlet hole. The inlet hole is the one with this gable. When there's heat, this gable moves back and forth like that with AC and heat. So basically it moves in there, okay? So for me, I don't think this, even though this is old, but it's actually moving when I'm using the heat, okay? So that means it opens up for the circulation. But if that doesn't move, okay, when you test it, you could test it, and if that doesn't move, have somebody stand out here, and then you can switch those buttons in there like I said. But this cable does move, and it does open back and forth, okay? So basically what you do is, you got the outlet, you got the inlet. Flush, blow some air in here, but not a lot, okay, to get the old antifreeze out, okay? Then you can use the water hose and splash water in there, squirt it in the side, not too much, okay, not too strong, because it only takes 10 psi, and if you do too much with the water, you let it run too strong, it's gonna ruin your the heater core, okay? So right here, what I did is I bought this connection, and with a valve opening to make it the pressure goes properly. Okay, when I pour it, flush it in there, I got a lot of the junks out, back and forth. Basically, I switched the hose back and forth. This hose still stay the same, but I just switched from the connector from up here, okay, back and forth. Okay, after you do that, when you see the clear water, which mine is clear right now, then I use this flush cleaner. Okay, and the flush cleaner, what you do is, sorry about the noise, the flush cleaner, you pour it into this outlet hole, okay, with a funnel. You pour it in, let it go inside, which is right now, you can see, I don't know if you can see because it's clear right now, but there's the fluid here. As you can see, this fluid right here is the flush clean fluid. Okay, so what I did is I pour some in there for now. Okay, then once I pour in that and I leave it sitting, it's been sitting there for over an hour already, then I would go down here, okay, right where this part is, okay, underneath it there's a nozzle, there's a little cork, and my cork looks like this. Okay, I took it out already. Okay, so this cork is in there. It's maybe if you haven't done it for the first time, okay, for a while, it's a little hard. So you want to go down there underneath there with a plier like this, okay, and basically you just turn it a little bit. Just turn it a little bit, let the water run out a little bit, don't let it come out squirting. And when you're doing these things, I forgot to tell you, make sure the engine is cold. Okay, so now that you flush that, just let it flush by itself for a while. And for the funnel right here, okay, for this part, there's actually two bolts over here, one there, as you can see, and one over here on this side, right there. You see that? If you take those two out, you can take this out and clean it. However, I actually have a suction pump, okay, which is right there. You can see that white there. I pumped it out. Okay, so now that that's cleared, then the next issue is you got three parts already: the heater core, the radiator, the reservoir, the next one. Okay, what you want to do is, for me, because since I'm doing this whole thing, I'm gonna change my thermostat at the same time, because this car is 2007. When I bought it, I'm not sure have they done it. Okay, and here are the thermostat. As you can see, this is the old one. Okay, it looks still good, to be honest with you, but I'm changing it anyway. This is the aftermarket one, but at the same time, to be honest, it's a little different. Okay, I still like the top, the fact that this probably has that, so, and I'm still gonna change it, okay, to the new one. And another thing you want to, let me show you, there's a pin right here. Make sure when you buy it, check if there's a pin right there. That pin goes on top when it goes inside. Okay, now let me show you how to take this radiator, I mean the thermostat out. First thing you want to do is you want to take the battery right here off. Okay, once you take the battery off, okay, the next thing you want to do is this holes right here. You want to remove this clamp. Okay, press it in, use a plier, press it in, and start moving, rigging it out. And if this is for the first time, you see my whole my pipe there. Okay, it was really gunked up. I actually sanded off, used a sander, and I cleaned up most of it off already. And inside here, it was very bad. Okay, you have to clean it a bit. Okay, so that way you push it in more smoothly. But it's very tight in the beginning because it's never been opened up. So what you want to do is you want to take a flathead screwdriver. Okay, you want to put it right here. you want to put it right over, let me see, show you right there, and you kind of, one hand, you hold the rubber, the hose, and one hand you go like this, just to push it out, and you pull it, okay? Be careful you don't damage the hose. Basically, you're gonna put the hose like that. Here, let me see if I can see. Let me show you. Sorry, I gotta. Okay, here it is. Basically, you gotta put it right here, and you pull on the rubber hose, and you pry this that way. It'll come off. Okay. Then there is. Let me see if I can get a. Okay, there's one bolt here where my finger is, and there's another bolt on the opposite side. And at the same time, let me try to get in there. If I can. Okay, right here where my finger is, I'll try to get a better view. But there's 3 bolts, okay? Basically, there's 3 bolts. One of the bolt here is holding, let me see if I can get this picture. Sorry, guys. Okay. It's a little difficult here to show you. Okay. So you see, there's one bolt right here. Okay, you see that bolt right here? And then there's another bolt. You see that ring? The thread? That clips into one of the connector. And then there's a bolt on the other side. You see my little extension? Okay, it's there. You want to take that out. So there's 3 bolts, okay? But you have to remove this hose. If you don't remove this hose, okay, the thermostat housing, it's not gonna be able to give you the room, because you're not gonna take out. There's a little connector. Don't take out that connector back there. Okay, there's another connector. Don't take that connector out. You just have to take out the 3 bolt, and then you can. All you have to do is slide this over, and you can take out the thermostat. So now that I take out the thermostat, make sure you have a bucket underneath, which I did. Okay, the coolant is gonna come out. Another thing, make sure every time you loosen all this, there's a bucket underneath. Okay, because you don't want the coolant to be pouring all over the place, and then pets or kids touch it or whatever, and then it's gonna die from it. It's very poisonous. Okay, it's not good for environment. So now let me get back to you on this one. So we flush out all 3 parts already, except for them from the engine block. Okay, so the way I'm doing this is I'm replacing the thermostat. So I'm taking out the thermostat. I'm gonna put back this housing. Okay, reconnect all the housing back in, tighten it up. Okay, without the thermostat. Okay, then what you want to do is put back your battery. Okay, and the next step is put the cock pin back in. Okay, from the radiator, put that back in. Okay, then you remember I said about the flush clean? I pour a bit in there already. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna remove this hose, these 2 holes. Okay, I'm gonna then connect back the 2 hoses back into the heater core. Okay, then you tap up the radiator and the reservoir. So my car, Honda Odyssey 2007, it takes 2 of the 50/50. Okay, the green one. And I actually bought, you're supposed to use distilled water, okay? But I bought this one, okay? So it's $5. So it's a little bit more expensive. You did buy this distilled water, is a lot cheaper, okay? But where I went to look for it, and I was there, I didn't have it. So about this, which is better for the car anyway. Okay, you're gonna tap this up because this is a super clean that what we're gonna do. You're gonna need about two containers of that. Okay, you're gonna tap it into your car. Okay, pour it into your radiator. Okay, pour it all up everywhere you need to pour, especially here. Okay, once you pour it up, seal it, everything, start the engine. Okay, turn on your heat full blast. Okay, start your engine, turn on your heat full blast, let it run for 5-10 minutes, or you can just take a short drive around your area. Okay, 5-10 minutes. Make sure to see if your gauge should be, you know, it doesn't jump spike up to overheating. Okay, so you let it run for a while. Okay, you come back, let the engine cool a bit, drain the cockpit. Okay, drain that cockpit. Okay, let it drain all out again. Okay, then what you do is you refill it again with distilled water. Then with the remaining of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it in from the radiator. Okay, and from here you're going to do the same process again. Let it run for 5-10 minutes, then you drain it again. Okay, so basically this will flush through the whole entire system, and this breaks up any particle. Okay, do 2 or 3 times, or when the well is clear. See mine right here. So I'm gonna do it until it's clear. Once you're done everything and your water is clear, okay, what you want to do is you want to take your air hose, okay, blow a bit in there. If you don't have an air hose, it's okay. Basically just drain the cock, and once it's that, make sure your water's all clear, right? Put the cock back in, remove your thermostat again. Okay, put in the new one, and when you put in the new one, make sure this pin is on the top. Okay, make sure the pin is on the top when you're putting it in there. Once you put it back all in, okay, what you want to do is you want to pour in your antifreeze. It's the 50-50 mix. Okay, when you pour in your antifreeze mix, okay, if it does stop, it's not going in anymore, basically you need to start up your car so the antifreeze runs through the engine. Okay, then at the same time you can kind of shake your car, or you could kind of press on the hoses so it starts going in there, because basically there's air bubbles, right? And you want to get it all out of the air bubble. Make sure you do that. Okay, another scenario is a good tip where you want to do is once you have air bubbles and sometimes it's not going clear, after you do all this, once for me, I have to jack this up a little bit in the front, basically just to get to the cock underneath the bottom. Okay, but once you do all that already, you lift this up so the airflow goes that way inside the car. Then you want to go to the back, you want to jack up the back so it goes back down, the head goes down and the butt goes up, right? That way the circulation of the coolant runs back and forth. Okay, moves back and forth. And finally, if you're gonna do this, make sure all that your coolant, okay, basically there's no bubble. You want to make sure there's no bubble in this. Okay, so it's better if you have one of those funnel Mine, I don't have it, so I'm just gonna use this, and I'm gonna watch out for it. Okay, but they do carry a kit for the funnel. That way it's easier for you to do it too. But in my scenario, I don't have it, so I'm gonna go this route. Okay. And another thing, make sure when you do this, there's no antifreeze going on this belt. If there is, you're in trouble, because sometimes you got to clean it good and wash it down good. Otherwise, your belt's gonna slip. Okay. So if there's any help, guys, if it solves your problem, if you think that your heater is bad or the AC is bad, sometimes it's not just the blend door actuator. For my scenario, my blend door actuator is working, okay, and there was coolant inside my car already, and it was full, but this heat is weak. So basically, I'm thinking it's the heater core. We're gonna find that out once I'm done all this. Okay, I flushed it, everything, I kept it, and I'm gonna change the thermostat too at the same time. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching, and I hope this tip helps you on doing a super clean flush on your vehicle. Okay, if any comments or any ideas that you think it's better for the way to do it, let me know. Please subscribe. Thank you.